I'm Tim Herrera with the Sacramento County Office of Education with another teacher profile for one of our 2010 Teachers of the Year. We are visiting with Criss, one of two Teachers of the Year from the Elk Grove Unified School District. Welcome and congratulations.
Thank you so much, Tim.
Well, tell us a little bit about yourselves. Tell us what grade level you teach and where you teach.
Well, I'm currently at Robert J. Fide Elementary in the Elk Grove School District, and I teach third grade.
So as a third grade teacher, you teach everything.
Oh yes, in third grade we teach PE, music, as well as all of the curriculum components of reading, writing, math, and social studies, science. We do everything.
So you're a jack of all trades.
You bet.
So how long have you been a teacher?
I've been a teacher for 20 years.
No, always at this grade level?
No, I've started in a 5th and 6th grade combination class in the Rio Linda School District, when it was still the Rio Linda School District. And then from there I went to 6th grade, and then when I moved to Elk Grove Unified, I taught 6th grade for a good 4 years also. And then I went to 3rd grade and died and went to heaven. I love 3rd grade. It's the best grade in the world. Kids are
starting to kind of come into their own as students then, because I know that 4th grade is kind of the year where they really have to step up.
Yes.
And 3rd grade, prepares them for that next big step.
Yeah, it's considered a transition year. It's the year between primary and intermediate. Once they hit the road running in 4th grade, they better be able to do it. So 3rd grade is sort of that proving ground for that, yeah, definitely.
So throughout your teaching career, what are some of the big challenges that you have faced, or that maybe education overall has faced during the time period that you've been a teacher?
Oh, there's been so many. Education seems to be like a volcano. It's always erupting and having different things happen to it. But I think some of the biggest challenges I've faced have been the changes in the classroom itself, as far as the community of learners. We have such a diverse population that we teach, and that's part of the joy of it, actually. I think it's one of the most exciting parts of teaching, is that you meet children. It's like a little slice of the world. You have different languages, you have different cultures, excuse me. So that makes it so exciting that you just want to know more and more about the whole world as a community. So I would say that that's probably one of the most challenging parts, and yet one of the most rewarding. So it's kind of a mixture of the two.
So in that amount of time, though, what kind of new things have you seen happen within education that makes it more challenging for you as a teacher? Dealing with several different languages at once is a challenge, but I know there are other things too.
Oh yeah, there's, as far as teaching children of different languages, the cultures of different languages?
Well, not just that, but also just all the monumental changes within education.
Absolutely. There's been different trends towards the way that we teach reading. When I first entered education, there was the whole language approach, which was based more on teaching through themes, which is very important, but what kind of went by the wayside was all that phonics instruction, which is so important. It's like teaching the nuts and bolts of reading, and not that went by the wayside so much as it just sort of went to the side. And so I've seen a real resurgence of that in the last, say, 10 years, which is so important and has been vital to becoming a very effective teacher. So I'm really glad to see that happen.
So the challenges have been keeping up with the changes.
Oh yes, absolutely. You have to keep yourself educated, you have to keep yourself informed. You're a learner, you're a lifelong learner, just like you're encouraging your students to be.
So 3rd grade, as you said, is a transitional year. So how are you working with those students who, when they get to that point, find the challenge really difficult? How do you motivate them to kind of stick with it so that they can kind of get over that hump?
Well, it's real important that you're a role model for them, and so you have to come into that classroom really excited about learning every single day, so that whatever it takes, even if it is tough or hard, they can see that you're doing it too. And if you give them the tools, and each child is different and unique, and so you have to kind of analyze every single child and be sort of a person that can look at them, an educator that can look at each student and know what they need and provide it for them. And then that helps them get over those hurdles of how am I going to make it to that huge next grade level. So there's a lot of different ways that I do that.
And what about as far as motivating the parents? Sometimes it's hard to get them involved.
It is hard to get parents involved, but building trust is the biggest thing that I have found. If you can reach out to them through phone calls, make home visits. I take walks in the neighborhood with my fellow teachers, and it's kind of, we all need exercise. And then you see the kids on a different level. You see them in a different playing field, and the parents see you doing that, and that kind of helps bridge that gap. And if the worst thing to be is condescending or in any way blaming parents for any deficiencies that you may think their child needs. They're doing the best they can. They're giving you their best, and so I find my job is more like I'm helping them find the tools to help get reconnected to education and to the buy-in for it, and hopefully with a real trusting, loving hand, and not with any kind of judgment of any kind. We're all in this together.
And once you get the parental buy-in, you get them into the classroom, and it's better for you and for the student.
Absolutely. And if you can have something positive about every student, which it is, for me, it seems to be a real easy thing to find, because kids are kids. I mean, everybody has talents and everybody has strengths, and everybody has different ways of dealing with things, but if you can help that child realize that they are a very unique, special person, then that helps them. That message gets conveyed right back to mom and dad are back into it, and so yeah, that helps a lot.
So what inspired you to become a teacher? What happened? How did you get here?
Well, I've always loved learning. That comes from my mom and dad. They are wonderful. They were wonderful educators of children. They weren't in the profession, but they should have been. They were definitely teachers, the kind of teacher that I aspire to be. That inspired me. Also, my own children. When I had my own children, just teaching them and learning how children learn to read, learning what symbols mean, and how you connect it together to make words, etc. That really inspired me. Plus all my own teachers that I had. I loved school, I loved learning. So I had a kind of a positive road from the get-go. But that's what, I always knew I wanted to be a teacher.
So you had some positive role model teachers throughout your life.
Yes, absolutely, Tim. I've had so many wonderful things happen to me through education. It was meant to be. It was destiny.
Destiny. Teaching is your destiny.
Mm-hmm.
So how did you find out that you were one of the Oak Grove Teachers of the Year?
Oh my gosh. You mean the actual day when it happened?
Tell me what happened.
Oh man. What's so funny is I have this really good friend who is a teacher as well, and she emailed me that morning and said, "Oh, Criss, I'm so sorry you didn't get it. I saw the news release, and someone else got it, and that's the way it was." So I kind of had that, oh well, that's all right, that's the way it is. Good for them, Whew, it's over. And then about an hour later, I saw coming around the corner, because I have a window, these balloons floating, and I saw our district superintendent, and I thought, oh, I just panicked. I just went into just tears, everything. That's how I found out. They came into the door and, "Congratulations, you're Teacher of the Year," and I don't even remember what happened after that because I was in a state of shock.
I bet.
Yeah.
So this was a good friend who told you you didn't get it?
Yes, and it was someone, they went to the county Office of Education printout, and they thought it was released, through the Elk Grove School District printout, and they still had last year's on there, and they didn't recognize the name.
Well, you didn't win last year.
No.
That's why.
She didn't mean it to be, she thought she was sharing with me something that was to relieve me in a sense and to show me, some kind of support. It was not meant to be a
setup.
No, not at all.
Well, that's really funny.
It's a great joke. Now.
Now it is.
Now we can laugh about it.
Back then it wasn't.
No.
Gosh. So obviously you love teaching. What would you say to those folks who are considering teaching as a career?
Oh gosh, if you even think that you might want to work with kids or you might want to do this, go for it, because that's all you need is just that little bit of motivation, and then once you get in it and you see all the rewards that come from it, it's a lot of hard work. I'm not going to shy away from that at all, but anything that you put your heart and soul into, you're going to get it back double-fold and then some. I would just encourage anybody to be a teacher who even thinks for even just a second they want to, because it's just it.
Challenges and rewards.
Challenges and rewards. Well put, yes. Very much so.
Well, congratulations to you. We've been speaking with Criss Brandis, who is one of 2 Teachers of the Year for the Elk Grove Unified School District. Congratulations to you.
Thank you so much, Tim. It's a real honor.